Hello and a warm welcome to the D2CL Grand Final Season 1. Tonight is the night. Alliance is going to go up against Speed Gaming, and a lot of money is on stake here.
Yes, there is, and this is quite a highly anticipated match. I mean, both of these teams, honestly, we haven't seen these teams face up against each other a whole lot, and the few times they had, like, Speed just hasn't really been, like, the last time was at MLG, and Speed, that was that first day where Speed was really not looking so hot, and they had jet lag and all that sort of thing, and they were having issues, and then the next day, they completely turned it on. So Speed, hopefully, is in their full form. We haven't really seen them a whole lot since December when they were in China. But hopefully, they're in full form and ready to fight up against Alliance. This should be quite an epic match.
It will be, indeed. I mean, Alliance is Speed, as you said. They've been struggling every now and then. PBS beat them. That was a big upset last time we saw them playing in Alliance. They know they haven't been in full shape as of late. There has even been an announcement, I believe, from Kelly Milky's that, like, stuff is going to change. We're still all speculating about... Speculating? Is that even a word?
Speculating?
Speculating.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that word. We're all still trying to figure out, like, does that mean they're going to train differently? Are they switching up roles within the roster? Or maybe they're switching the roster, which I certainly can't believe. I can't.
No,
I
can't see that happening either. I'm sure it's just going to be something like a role change or something not entirely big. Or as Admiral Bulldog said, he's going to be playing more heroes, not just a staple 3 or 4.
Well, I can't wait to see what they have up in their sleeves tonight. And again, there is a lot of money on stake. It's $25,000 for the winning team, $15,000 for the second place. So that's $10,000 difference, plus revenue from the ticket sales, some percentage.
Yep, from the DOTA TV tickets.
So yeah, that's a lot of money. So this is all or nothing for those guys. We're playing in a best of 5, so there's plenty of time to see what they come up with. Now we have a new co-caster for Toby tonight as well. This time it's going to be a Clairvoyance, if I read that right. So I can't wait to see the two guys casting together either. And Cap, what is your prediction tonight? Who do you bet your money on?
Well, I mean, just looking at the history of these two teams facing up against each other, I'm still going to favor Alliance, but I think it's going to actually be really close. In the past, Alliance have taken it really easily, but I think Speed are going to put up a really good fight. I'm going to call 3-2 Alliance.
3-2? All right. I would love to see a 3-2 just so we see the whole thing. Yeah. But I actually think Alliance is going to...
You think they're just going to crush it?
I think they're going to crush it.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah,
so he's an Alliance fanboy. You heard it here first.
Fangirl. All right.
Oh, excuse me.
Although the internet has put up some rumors, so I might as well be a fanboy every now and then. I don't know. But no, I actually think they're going to smack it. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. I know the pick bands have just started, so for that, we're going to hand it over to our casters, Clairvoyance and TobiOne.
Thank you very much, Zoe, and yes, I will be your main caster for this evening. TobiOne is my name, and casting the D2CL, well, it seems to be the thing which I've been doing throughout the entire season, but we've had ourselves a long break before we've hit finally now into our grand final. We had to wait while Speed Gaming was touring around all of China, doing their thing down there. Alliance were playing around, traveling over to Vegas and playing their games over there, but now, finally, they managed to settle themselves back into their home countries and get themselves ready for this game. So Alliance will be on the Radiant side to start this game off. Speaking will be over on the Dire side, and over on my side, he is a man which Zoe introduced before. He is the man that is a social network not guru. He doesn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but luckily he definitely touches Dota with his 10-foot pole. That is Clairvoyance, man. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the grand final.
You know, Toby, normally I don't have many words to add on to your introductions. They're always so fantastic, right on point. But this time I got to correct you. Let me just say, before the game just goes on into a deep pace, that Clairvoyance, you know, it's a new year, 2014, and a new Clairvoyance. I gotta say, I have tackled on the social media, and I'd like to tell you that at the end of the whole show, if I can plug it in, you know, I'd be more than grateful and very appreciative of it. But for now, right now, the story, our focus, the two stars, the two titans themselves, Speed Gaming versus Alliance. And if you would actually allow me to rabble on just a few more moments, you know, Toby, I gotta say, starting out with the new year 2014 with one of the biggest, most highly anticipated finals matches coming out. I gotta say, man, there's a lot more on this line, a lot more here on the line, on the stake between these two teams than we think. Because quite frankly, let me put it this way. If I was a team like Alliance, who came out of a year just dominating the entirety of the scene, and as the year came to a close, just began to slightly fall off here and there on LAN tournaments or where it seemed like it really, really mattered post-TI, I would want to cement my legacy and just put my foot down on the pedal and say, you know what? We're not out of it yet. Don't you dare think that we're out of fuel or we're out of gas, because we're coming in stronger than ever. And on the side of Speed Gaming, after coming out of a huge victory with the stand-in, with one of their core members not being present at the LAN event, I'd like to think that after you lose a LAN event, even with your core members together, they went to China and unfortunately it wasn't successful because they didn't make it to the big brackets like they had hoped. And coming back to their home countries, they have to feel that they have something to prove with this new lineup, or the old lineup that was unable to win something.
Yeah.
So there is really a lot on the line on this 2014 start. And honestly, Toby, this finals right here, this is going to be a good telling of the tale of what's to come. So I am more than just excited, man. This is going to be a fantastic match between the two, and already no punches being held right now between Alliance and Speed Gaming as well. Speed Gaming just going for the standard picks that they're well aware of. Nyx Assassin as well as the Crystal Maiden. Heroes that they're very, very comfortable with, known to pick. And of course, Alliance not opting for the Furion as the first pick. And I was actually talking to the Speed Gaming just a minute before the game started, and they decided to ignore the Prophet, saying, yeah, Prophet took quite a hit in this patch in general because of how the lanes work and how pushing works in general. So Alliance, showing that with their motives and saying, you know what, we're going to actually go for the Timbersaw, and that's going to be the security for Bulldog or possibly S4. And that kind of flexibility between their players, always one of the reasons why this strong team maintains at the top with its versatility.
I was actually wondering about that going into tonight, because I know, as like Zoe mentioned, Alliance is not 100% secure in their roles right now and what they're doing, and just remaining stable as a squad. And what Admiral Bulldog would try and do, because I know he's coming under a lot of scrutiny. I know S4 also, if you have a look at him too, scrutiny's there. Loda's always been scrutinized. But it's basically, like, his offlane has been one of these, like, question mark, is it really been working for him? And coming into this, looking through like previous games, previous drafts, there wasn't really a lot of mix-up for the offlane. Like, he hasn't played his bounty adder in such a long time. It's always just been this clockwork, potential Timbersaw, like he'd look for the Prophet if it's going to be there. But it's like Elder Titan every now and then. Like, it hasn't really been that flexible for him, or that's safe for him. So yeah, I was interested to see how Alliance would approach this tonight. I wasn't really going to pick the first pick would be their offlaner. Maybe it won't be. Maybe S4 will take the Timbersaw in towards the middle lane. But seems Speed Gaming's very comfortable the way they're going to approach this. Crystal Maiden, Chen, Nyx Assassin. A lot of early game aggression, decent amount of push behind it, and also nice jump in. Like, I say jump in, it's a vendetta into position to then start attacking. So if Speed Gaming do really start getting momentum in this game, it can snowball so badly. Alliance can just be backed into a corner. Timbersaw will have no Bloodstone charges. Naga will never have a good ultimate. Earthshaker will never find his Blink Dagger. This is the potential problems of Alliance right now.
Yeah, and Alliance, it just seems like, I said Alliance, but it seems like both teams have a general idea of what they're going for with the early Earthshaker pick, which is kind of hiding the next two cards more so than revealing the Earthshaker card, because Earthshaker in this patch, it's a fantastic pick overall with the slight buffs that have been coming to him over the course of the last couple of patches. But, you raised a very interesting point. And I'd like to just reiterate on that fact about the Nyx Assassin, Crystal Maiden, and the Chen pickup as the trio. Something we've seen very often in competitive, but more frequently, I'll say, in the previous patches. But what this really does to the lanes is it's somewhat complicated for Alliance, because if we consider the possibility that Crystal Maiden as well as Chen might be on the safe lane, that allows the Nyx Assassin to go elsewhere, which means that we have a good chance of seeing a core Nyx Assassin in this scenario. And we've seen Bone 7 go off lane or on the safe lane with the Nyx Assassin, and specifically against heroes like Prophet, for example, and just rushing up that poor man's and being able to be a mid-game, dominating force to reckon with. And as I say that, they pick up the Gyrocopter, so now I presume that Gyro will be on the safe lane, and that Nyx will be played like a bristleback kind of thing, where he just kind of stays alive in the off lane and tries to get levels and picks up the farm through hero kills as the game progresses. So I think so far, Speed Gaming, I would actually give it to them right after that Keeper pick as well. And it just seems like Speed Gaming have the right pieces to counter up Alliance, so long as they play their cards right within the early game and not lose heroes unnecessarily. Because when we factor here in heroes like Earthshaker as well as Alliance, a lot of potential early aggression, as well as Keeper of the Light even, they can get shut down pretty hard with counter initiations.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to understand what Alliance is doing. I think like any gambling man, anyone who was putting rares over on this match over on Dota 2 Lounge would be like, okay, yeah, Speed Gaming, it's a solid lineup, pretty safe with the rares. Like, that would be the instant thought in my mind right now. Where Alliance, they seem to have like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of focus there, a little bit of focus there. Like, what are we really searching for from this lineup? Are we looking for a big team fight set up into an Illuminate with an Earthshaker, Perfect Fissure, Echo Slam, Chakram kind of thing? Like, where's the combination heroes to really go with this? And then how are you supposed to try and lane this? Does this become a roaming Earthshaker like we used to see like Fnatic, where they even abandoned a lane to try and play a roaming Earthshaker? Is that the potential mark for it now? Is it going to be LOTA taking up the Naga Siren? Is it S4's Timbersaw? There's so many question marks here for Alliance. I think that's the only good thing that's working for Alliance right now. The fact that Speed Gaming can't instantly know exactly where these lanes are going. Because even the Coddle and Earthshaker, like, we go back a year in Dota and it was part of an aggressive tri-lane. It was long-range spam that is very difficult to deal with. And with the Earthshaker fissure range also increased, life gets even harder. But Speed Gaming, they go with what's safe, what's secure, and what's also bloody strong. So Shadow Fiend will be the final selection here from Speed Gaming. I'm interested to see how long Shadow Fiend can stay alive here. That's my only question. Like, how much does Alliance focus on rotating ganking? With Mirana, yeah, man, this feels like an aggressive tri-lane for me. Like, even with LOTA being selected up right now, and S4's Mirana, okay, it's not what I was really hoping for. I think you might have been hoping for exactly the same kind of thing, where you'd be looking at, like, Earthshaker, Coddle, and Mirana all going aggressive tri-lane. Not going to happen.
You know what's actually on my mind is the flavor of the month right now is, at least in North America for now, it's going to expand to other regions very, very soon, I assure you. But right now, basically, mid lane Naga Siren is dominating everything, because basically with Bottle Crowing as well as a Radiance Rush Up, you actually just cannot stop the split pushing of that hero, because at the mid lane in the 1v1 scenario, she just gets so much more EXP as well as farm than she would in any other lane scenario that she would have a little bit more difficulty, because once again, in general, mid lane is 1v1 strictly, more or less. So I was thinking it was going to be the S4 Naga Siren as well as the LOTA Priestess, and yeah, possibly an aggressive tri-lane coming out. We all know the potency of that Earthshaker, Keeper of the Light duo in conjunction with possibly another range hero, and I was thinking it was going to be a Priestess or the Wind Ranger, and it turns out that they decided to opt for the Priestess because I guess their team fight capabilities with the ultimate are a little bit better, and possibly if you catch somebody out with the arrow, and you're going to secure yourself a nice kill with all the long range nukes you have. So, but I do want to comment a little bit on the Speed Gaming's final draft right there, how you mentioned with the Shadow Fiend, a bloody pick strong, as you would say, and quite certainly it is. Somewhat squishy at the start, but I'm going to have to hold that thought because the skirmish is going on.
Bone 7! I thought for a moment they could have just nailed him. If they hung up right here on the line, they would have nailed him as he came up, and they would have had an instant kill.
Yeah, I think so as well. But you know what? Part of me feels that at Speed Gaming, they're actually very scared of Alliance's level 1 potential, because mainly it's due to the Chen. He was at the back lines, and so was the Gyrocopter, which is going to be the first source of their damage. And also, if you look at the side of Speed Gaming, the majority of them haven't placed their skill points in their skills yet. And I look at Bone 7 right now, and yeah, he's got the poor man shield, so he's looking to do exactly what I had predicted. But at the same time, to make sure that you can actually survive in the offlane with Nyx Assassin, you might be forced in a scenario where you have to pick up that Spike Carapace relatively early. So I do think that while the first blood would have been very, very nice to have there, I think it was a very safe approach for Speed Gaming to say, okay, we got the scouting, we got the vision we wanted, we see where they are now, let's back.
It almost feels a little bit like the shoot on the other foot. I know when we were casting a lot of previous matches... Oh, nice little steal from RK. Like when we were casting a lot of previous matches of like Alliance and Na'Vi, the phrasing which always came up was, in big series, especially at LAN events, they play safety first Dota. Like don't take a risk. You see a possibility for an opening, and you're going up against one of these top teams, you say, no, I don't want to do it. I'm just going to hold up and then just play it safe at the very, very start. And Speed Gaming might have been having the same kind of approach, even though Alliance were the ones taking the risk at the early stage to move up onto the high ground like they were doing. Yeah, but we get ourselves into our lane, so let's run through that quickly too. So Sing Sing, he's already loving up this middle lane. He got creep wave control from the very, very start. So S4 is going to have a rough time hitting up that hill, but it is Sing Sing going up against S4, the Shadow Fiend going up against the Mirana. Down on bottom lane, Bone 7's taken a long lane Nyx Assassin. He's going up against Loda's Naga Siren. Loda's got a little bit of support in the junglers coming from the Keeper of the Light, played by Arke. S4's also got someone roaming near him, is EGM, who's pulling creep waves up to the Ancients to try and deny them off. So welcome to creep wave control coming back your way. He's the Earthshaker. Top lane Admiral Bulldog Timbersaw. He's up against Eternal Envy's Gyrocopter. Paladise pulling for him as Crystal Maiden. That leaves our last supporter and Micro Master of the jungle. It is Aoi 2000 on the Chen.
Quite nicely said on your part, man. Micromaster he is, and I'm just waiting to see how active he gets, how early he gets active, rather. Because as soon as he rotates into the mid lane / jungle, and I say mid lane because Priestess is, Bone 7 making a play there.
He's been such a dick to Arke. He's the same experience, but he also got the last hit in the Alpha Wolf just then, so he got some really good money.
Yeah. But I really am genuinely curious as to how long it's going to be for Aoi to move around. I'm wondering if he's just going to try to be efficient with the whole rotations of the Chen and say, I'm going to sit. This is one of those games I'm going to sit in the jungle and just farm because it looks like the enemy is going to try to do the same thing, and I want to be in the same pace with that. Or if he tries to go into the enemy mid lane jungle, and by jungle I mean Ancients or the jungle, so you can mess with either Ake on the Keeper of the Light or EGM, who's actually not supposed to be allowed to be doing this for free. He's not getting punished for denying the entire mid lane creep wave, and that's actually going to hurt SF's progression really, really hard, because we look at the levels right now. I know the creep wave is just hit, but SF is level 2. The Priestess is level 4. And the interesting thing about this matchup, which is something of a relic of the past actually, is that while it's a skill matchup, somewhat in favor of SF depending on how many souls he can secure, and he's actually securing a lot, especially with the help of that double damage.
Yep.
The Priestess always has the potential to land a solo kill on the SF. It's not a hard progression. Here it is.
It's not even a solo kill with a leap up, though. S4 might have enough damage. He doesn't have a Starfall mana. He needs one more attack. That is not enough. 25 life points in there for the Shadow Fiend. He will survive, for now at least. But that's that combination we were talking about for the top lane, where you can go Fissure, it's got such a long range, then you can follow up with the arrow, and the entire time you can have an Illuminate fly out too. That's going to probably have a little bit more of an effect later on in the game, but we already saw half of it being displayed there in the mid gank.
Yeah. Sing might actually be very aware of these things coming, and he reacted pretty nicely, although he kind of just backed as soon as possible. Also used the salve to survive the last right click coming from S4, but I gotta say, S4 misgauging his mana like that is not something I see very frequently, so I'm a little bit surprised at that, and it's unfortunate, but a first kill opportunity that's been missed.
Yep. Well, in the meantime, too, I want to keep my eyes very closely on Bone 7. I know we've been seeing a lot of mid-solo Nyx Assassins of recent times, so they're getting a lot of experience and a lot of uncontested experience. Walk around at level 6 and then you start killing everybody off everywhere. But he's taking some time on this bottom lane. Like, level 3.5's not too shabby. Obviously, Timbersaw is always going to be keeping up with him a decent amount as he's coming up to, well, chain up. That might have been a bit of overcommitment from Admiral Bulldog. He'll chain down with a Whirling Depth. This could be first spot. The missile took too long.
I actually think Bulldog just played that really nicely as he was escaping. Very nice done. Very nice job.
Yeah, it was commitment up though, dude. He jumped straight up here into the middle of a gyro as well as a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was dead for sure as well. But you know what? He actually latched onto the furthest tree on the left, and then he was able to kill all the trees to remove all the trees that have potentially blocked his path, obstruct him in any way. And then, yeah, he decided to get out because he has the +4 armor. So the Gyrocopter actually doesn't do that much in right clicks in terms of early game damage aside from the Rocket Barrage. So, yeah, he was relatively safe after the Crystal Maiden's Crystal Nova ran out. And Aoi 2000, he decided to smoke up now. Here's the first rotation.
It's taken a while, dude. Like, almost 5 minutes, but then again, we have 5 levels up on Aoi 2000. It's got to be top lane. It's got to be top lane movement. If they know Earthshaker's doing a pull over to the Ancients, they'll never be able to get in towards that mid lane undetected. But then Arke, that troll trap, it's got to get itself in range. It's just on the edge of the range too. Maybe thinking about Admiral Bulldog now. There's your first trap. Frostbite to follow up. Centaur's not moving down deeper with the Mirana ulti being used to keep him invis. Sentry wall being planted just in preparation in case they want to try and come in close or try something. But they use the Undead Army as well as the Centaur to try and bring down the top tier 1 tower. I don't know if they can get through the whole thing in this wave, but yeah, they can't. They have to back up.
Yeah, I'll be allowed to back up. And you know, I don't want to call that a fail smoke gank. It was actually a really nice rotation and very well timed by Ollie. As soon as he picked up that level 5 smoke, he was on his way. But Alliance, what can I say? That right there, as soon as Ollie started rotating, he was halfway through the river and inside the enemy territory. Admiral Bulldog just straight up pinged it. He said, "Okay, I have a feeling he's coming for me, and looks like they're kind of going for him again, but I'm not too sure if it'll be successful." Yep, they'll have to just regroup themselves away from the tower again. But that awareness, man, that was pretty phenomenal right there. Like, you don't even have vision of the smoke or the area where Ollie 2000, when he pops his smoke, you'll see it on the map kind of thing. And of course, now smoke doesn't get revealed through sentries even, and of course, Alliance doesn't
look
actually
at
have
bottom
that.
lane, man. S4's already going to... Loda's going to get stunned up right now. Pylai Die has come in, and he let off the frost, then the frostbite. That's first blood in the bottom lane. Loda... He didn't really see Pylai Die coming in, but because Pylai Die TP'd onto the tier 2 tower and then smoked up. The arrow's going to fly up. That might even help Bone 7. He spied Carapaces just in case, but the arrow was just a little bit too high up. So S4 look for some collateral damage to give to Speed Gaming, but not the case. And Speed Gaming get first blood here in the best of 5.
Yeah, that happens very often. When you have like one skill shot that can guarantee you a kill, but there's 2 targets running like a little bit of distance apart from each other. More often than not, I find myself just getting a field goal instead, and it's kind of unfortunate. But it seems like that's what happened there. A little bit long shot or a little bit short. But regardless of how you see it, the rotation was not full. Didn't end up being successful. So Loda dies and pays for it with his life. But unfortunately. Fortunately, I should say, actually, Speed Gaming is on a good pace after that one, because they actually committed a lot of different rotations so far in this game, and they didn't seem to get that much, especially at how EGM's just constantly being a bother at the mid lane. So Sing Sing is kind of held back in terms of how much he could be farming, but he has started farming the jungle, and now he's caught up to level 6. So we'll see how the game progresses from this point on.
I was wondering how long it's going to take for Ali to start stacking for him. So Sing Sing just as Flash Farm comes back and makes up for EGM's horrible things. Top lane movement. It's Bone 7 with Vendetta, and they're going to find Admiral Bulldog. Slow him down, attack him, stun him, troll trap him, Centaur, stun him, take out the town before he's even dead. And Speed Gaming, you talk about successful rotations. I'm pretty sure you can count that as one of them.
Yeah, getting the tower as well as the offlane kill, and all of a sudden securing extra farm in your own jungle as well as the lane. I'll say that was a little bit more successful than they had expected. Of course, Speed Gaming known for their calculations and sometimes miscalculations, but that time proving their worth.
I want to ask you a question right now, and this is focus for Alliance. Where do they find it? Like, do we look at Mirana getting more space to farm up or kills, and is that the way she finds the money? And then what do we look as item progression for her? And on top of that one, we look at the other major core, and that's Loda. Like, Loda is still sitting at the highest CS count right now, even though Envy is definitely catching up. But what do we really look at from the Naga? Do we try and go Radiance Rush? By the looks of it, no, because we've already got drums up and running. So what does Loda go into here? Do we look at Fighting Build? Do we look at Diffusal Blade? What would you want to see out from Loda and S4?
Actually, so I understand that there were some scrims already between Alliance and some of the teams that have been running this, and I'm going to have to hold that thought because Bone 7 is getting initiated on. Yeah, Vendetta as well as Carepress. I don't think he's going to die, but I just wanted to see how the things would have performed out there in that.
Denial. Denied!
Oh, nice.
He was using the Vendetta, but now he might be in trouble. He's going to turn around for a stun. He's still got Mana Burn available, so Loda can't really control him at all. And in the meantime, in the middle lane, Speed Gaming are taking the tier 1 tower here. They have again another undead army. They're going to back up before the tower goes within deny range, especially because they might have seen Mirana ulti being used. There's a sentry warp this down. It didn't see S4 moving up, but it would have seen, it sees Admiral Bulldog quite clearly. And now they also find Sing Sing. S4, arrow goes astray, Sing Sing turns around, and one raise, the secondary raise a little bit too far away, but with a cooldown from Envy, a slow down S4, now into the Rocket Barrage with the Chen Nuke too. Looks like almost maximum damage coming out from Aoi. Speed Gaming claimed the 3rd scalp of the game and keeping Alliance scalpless. Wow.
Once again, another thing that I just generally don't really expect out of S4. He missed the arrow, and I think he should have known that he just wouldn't have enough damage to kill Sing Sing uphill before he's able to get into range for Starfall or anything like that. And he decided to pursue the issue, invested a leap into it, and then just had no escape mechanisms prepared for any rotations coming out. So Eternal Envy coming in from the side, landing that call down on the first wave, applying that slow, and S4 was just dead for that ever since that moment. So this is one of the reasons why I felt like Naga at the mid would have been really strong. And so going back to that point you were just questioning about, yeah, if this is the Siren that I know from the scrims and what's basically the flavor of the month that's about to kick in, it will be the drums first and then straight into a Radiant. So, and quite honestly, Toby, I feel like that's the only really it's the only approach that they can use this game to come back, because right now it's only 0-3, but they're infinitely behind in terms of objectives. Speed Gaming has secured so much more, and they're just looking to get more right now, and I'm not even sure if Alliance is aware of it. They already have 2 inside the pit with Chen Creeps as well as the Shadow Fiend, and that'll be more than sufficient. So let's see if Speed Gaming catch wind of this and react appropriately, because otherwise, another huge objective going in favor of Speed.
I'm pretty sure Alliance is very much aware of what's going on, but what can they do to stop it? Like, you got Naga ulti, but you've got no other real way to initiate in if the arrow doesn't connect from S4. And then you still kind of need to have vision to set up for that one, so you have confidence in these arrows. Because you just spam them out, and like if nothing connects, then you're in trouble. So Alliance's playmakers, they just don't exist right now. Coddle's a guy that can throttle the game for a little bit, keep the mana up high, so Loda can just keep spamming out and farming him up. But then where does Loda come into play? You get that Naga ulti off. Once the BKB is up for the Shadow Fiend, as well as the Gyro, because these are 2 guys that love going in for their BKBs as well, they won't have any abilities to control them up at all. The only thing they can have is a fissure wall, and that's not to stun them, that's just to control where they have to walk. Like, there's Ensnare as well, but you're not really going to say, I can control up the entire team with Ensnare.
Yeah, it's overall it's just a really tough situation for Alliance. It's just because a couple of the early game movements just didn't go in their way, and Speed Gaming were just so on point with all their rotations. After the first couple of minutes, they just secured every single objective that they decided to go for, whether it was the tower or the couple of hero kills that they were looking for here and there, and they just kind of came by to them. So this Earthshaker, what he was doing in the early game, I thought it was going to end up having a huge impact, but Sing Sing decided to just rotate into the jungle after Aoi got active, and Speed Gaming just catching up in all fronts and getting further ahead in that regard.
They're going to force this issue in the middle lane. Stun from Nyx Assassin being set up by the Crystal Maiden and the Chen Nuke. They never even hit the cooldown from Eternal Envy, which is just meant to cut off the rest of Alliance. And Eternal Envy does mop up Admiral Bulldog. The Timbersaw at the back end getting done by the Rocket Barrage. So with 5-0 now on the board, the Tier 1 tower is already gone, the middle lane. Once the mid creep wave's going to arrive, Speed Gaming can just take out that Tier 2 tower in middle lane. I don't think there's any fight right now they don't believe they can take, and they're even prepping for it. Aggressive Observer Ward behind. It's Nova. It's Frostbite. The Troll will be able to get there in time. No, the Fissure keeps them away. Same with the Blinding Light from Arke. But they're all out of mana, and they use the Moran ulti to try and get these heroes back. I don't think there's going to be much initiation, and very little openings to hit an arrow. That Chen army is really blocking off the arrow lines as Speed Gaming retreats.
Mm-hmm. And Speed Gaming, just by how they retreat and react to every single spell depending on the scenario, like every single time Priestess ultimated, even though they're probably they're stronger, they're just taking the safe approach. They know they have the Aegis, and they know they can sit on the extra farm they have and just press on the advantage when the time is right, when the time is appropriate for them. And they're just dictating the entirety of the pace of this game just by these small movements. Like, it's actually just brilliant to see. I don't think I've seen a mistake that's game-changing at all coming out of Speed, whereas Alliance, yeah, they've made a couple big ones, and it's costing them quite a bit, because not to just down on the players, but some of those moves, like especially coming out of S4 at mid, he was the mid laner, and for him to not secure those kills, which is extremely unfortunate, is also very detrimental for the team. And now, as I say that, they actually get a huge kill at the top lane on Eternal Envy, a very prized kill, and something they will need and will help Loda a lot in his progression towards his ratings.
I can't believe it's actually the first kill I missed, and it was Alliance's only one so far. But it was Earthshaker who ended up claiming the last hit from that one, so Eternal Envy. Kind of surprised he can get caught out like that, but at the same time, it's a critical moment in a way, because it stops him from instantly picking up his BKB, but he's almost there anyway. And it's the same thing for Sing Sing. Sing Sing's walking around with 2k gold him and already has the Ogre Club up and running. There's a lot of movement around middle lane too. Bone 7 starting up on EGM. First stunt, Nova, Frostbite, they'll ensure the kill over on the Earthshaker. And Admiral Bulldog and S4, there's very little. In fact, there is nothing they could do to stop that kill. They came in range of the Tier 1 tower, and then they would die as well. So they decided not to.
Yeah. You know what, though? I am a little bit surprised that Bone 7 was able to kind of just say scot-free the whole time. Like, he initiated, of course, and got the stun off and popped the Carapace immediately. So I understand Alliance's heroes were kind of scared to use their spells. But for him to secure that last hit and blink out at that last moment, I don't know. I feel like there was a potential for some counteraction there, and Alliance just decided to back off and say, no, we're playing this safe. There could be more heroes rotating in, which is, of course, understandable in the current state of the game. Like, they are very, very behind, and they know that DOTA is their key and their hope. So if they just don't feed that much around the map, it's possible that the Radiance Naga can just start split pushing all over the map, and Speed Gaming will have a difficult time once again. But as it stands right now, Alliance, they have a hero who's clumped up and Bone 7.
Still on EGM, the cooldowns right on top of S4 and EGM. Rocket Barrage, Bone 7. He's in a good position to attack right there, and the cooldown's going to make sure that Speed Gaming have more than enough life points to survive this. There's a Keeper of the Light Blast, can do a little bit of harassment damage, but that's all. The Pilot Eye is watching him move back. They've still got their aggressive Observer Ward, seeing every single movement behind the Tier 2 towers. They know what they've got to deal with. Blink Dagger, another stun. Admiral Bulldog, Novid, he can't chain away in that kind of position. And Speed Gaming go back to objective-based gaming. They pick off one support, they pick off the mid solo, a little bit of damage towards the mid tier 2. And you've got a lot of farm coming the way of Sing Sing, who has enough money to finish up his BKB. Or actually, no, he's a little bit off.
Yeah.
But basically.
No, I think he has it. I mean, yeah, he'll get it now with this creep wave anyway. He had the Ogre Club already, and his Crow is just rotating around the map. So yeah, he'll be able to complete it as soon as it gets back. Eternal Envy has also picked up his BKB. And the interesting thing about this matchup, or what these heroes are facing up against each other, is that Speed Gaming, now that they have their core items on their cores, basically, cores on their cores, how ironic, they will have to push. And I guarantee that they actually have to push and force the issue at Alliance's door, because if they don't start banging on Alliance's door right now, this Naga Siren's Radiance will kick in.
Yeah.
And I think honestly that a lot of people actually forgot about how powerful this hero is when it comes to split pushing. The Riptide from the illusions, as well as the passive Radiance burn coming out from possibly 3 to 5 illusions, depending on whether you have the Manta style online or not. It's incredibly strong. The split push potential, if you have the micro for it, is unparalleled, and it just beats out what a Nature's Prophet can do by tenfold. So if Speed Gaming undermine it, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But Speed Gaming, so far, looking to play flawlessly and looking to keep that up in terms of aggression.
We're going to have a bit of a fight here on the bottom lane. Sentry Ward, though, goes down at the right time here, which means they'll see Bone 7. Loader already started off a couple of ensnares. Now he's got to throw the ulti out. He's got to stop this. He stops Pilot Eye's ultimate almost instantly. Admiral Bulldog, make a decision. So Pilot Eye's at Bone 7. He jumps up. In fact, now he's caught in the middle of the entire team. He timber chains himself away. Bone 7, the range of his stun's going to be a little bit rough here, especially with the Moran ulti now going to be used. The arrow is still on cooldown as well for 5 more seconds. EGM. Sentry Ward, well, okay, this is not going to go well from there's a gem on Owie 2000. They see everything. They'll take out the Sentry Ward. They'll take out the Earthshaker on the bottom lane. And Alliance just lost their big stunner that might have helped them take that fight. But they just got split. Arrow in towards the middle lane, Bone 7. Short range blink to evade it. S4 can't bring down this tower now. He knows it.
That was a nice play coming out of S4 though. He cancelled his Starstorm right in the mid animation and invaded Bone 7 to Carapace. If Bone 7 got the Carapace off and the tower was hitting him, Bone 7 might have actually been able to kill, but probably not because he had low mana, and S4 probably aware of his scenario, his situation and surroundings in that moment right there. We'll pick up the double damage rune, but as said before, man, the mid lane Priestess, I'm not too sure how well it's working out, because not only in terms of scores 0, 3, and 0 right now, so no assists, no helping on the kills. But he does have the ultimate, so I guess that could count as an assist depending on how things turned out. But but really, just double damage and 1.3k in his inventory and a casual Wraith Band to boot with a phase boots. It's just tough, man. And once again, I just feel like the Naga Siren at the mid lane would have proved to be a lot stronger, depending on like how you can play it and take the enemy's jungle farm with the Riptide and possibly even have that Radiance right now, because this Priestess being forced to rotate so many times around the map and not around the sides and not get anything done. Unfortunately for them, it really is costing them big. And Sing Sing is just canceling that whole factor out, because he on the Shadow Fiend, on the other hand, who did get shut down a little bit due to the Earthshaker just having his presence and taking away his creeps, has now the BKB 1k gold and almost on his way to level 12. And we know that the next Aegis that spawns, or the next Roshan that spawns, which will be within the next couple of minutes, will be Speed Gaming's. There will be no contest coming out of the side of Alliance. They have no map control right now. Absolutely, maybe one ward in the enemy jungle, which is at this point not going to see much. So in terms of map control, they're just completely lacking, and goes back to the point once again with your long range initiations and long range stuns and nukes. It's like you have all these things, but you couldn't utilize them when they were most powerful within the early stages, when they had that hero difference that they could have created in the early stages. Because Speed Gaming, to be honest, when you consider the fact that like they actually don't have very many long range stuff on this, their Blink Dagger with the Nyx Assassin comes in and they got their BKBs up to be able to react. There are a lot of ducks just sitting around waiting to die. and honestly, they weren't taken advantage of. So instead, Speed Gaming taking advantage of a situation that they shouldn't have been able to against the anti-aggression lineup of Alliance. It's costing them a lot.
I still, like, yeah. I don't really have much more to say after you do an entire spiel like that. But luckily the players are ready to go, so we'll keep our content rolling. But yeah, critical moment when Loda's going to finish up with this creep wave on the bottom, that Radiance. Let him fight back. Kind of almost, I don't know about you, man, but I know you said before, like the community, maybe they forgot about the power of the Naga Siren. Miracle from Titan has just reminded me multiple times.
Yes, that's right.
Replays time and time again, just how powerful that is. And the Radiance is up and running now for Loda. So 19 minutes in, Radiance up with drums as well. That's not too bad for a Naga Siren. If she starts getting a lot more life points here, I don't doubt Speed Gaming's damage to rip through them. Like, I don't really doubt that. But Sing Sing needs to really get a lot more money up his sleeve. Having that Alpha Wolf from Chen, also not a bad thing for him. But I want to know if Sing Sing's going to try and focus on going damage output, or if he thinks about survivability. Like, does he start up with the Helm of the Dominator, work it later into a Satanic, or does he try and get like a Desolator up right now, try and push down these towers, and focus on that, focus on the killing, and pushing? Or does he say, you know what, late game, I can take this if I have enough money?
Yeah, I'm actually curious as to how Sing Sing's going to progress in terms of his items as well. I mean, right now, I think the most important thing is how Eternal Envy is going to progress. And, you know, one of the ways to deal with Naga, they're actually doing it really effectively right now, is that once the Naga's Radiance is online, and sometimes you just don't have the heroes to deal with it, or you think that you're just going to get the out-sustained, because Naga will just be at the back lines and spamming you.
It's a Sentry. What I don't know if S4 saw it for a moment. EGM, Totem Stomps, is turning for a fissure, and Bone 7, you can see him just flinch then, thinking he was 100% visible.
Yep, that's right. And a close call, but I honestly think that if EGM landed the fissure first, they would have secured the kill, but it is risky. Once again, the map is dark for them, and they don't know what's coming. So, for all they know, they could have been like 2-3 heroes in that sequence there, and they might have been able to catch them off guard. But now Loda gets a tower at the mid lane instead, and the ball gets rolling for the Naga Siren. And hold that thought. Wow.
Didn't realize he was so low. I was watching the mid tower go down, but the fissure almost bought enough space for him to get out of that one. But Bone 7 was hanging around for a very long time looking for a kill. Now the Blink Decker down to EGM. He's already done the stun, but he needs to slow EGM down a little bit more for Sing Sing to get in range to dish out his damage. Couldn't reach it though, but that makes it now 10 for 1 with S4. He walked up to the secret shop. I think he's looking for a perfect angle to do like fissure into arrow into easy starhold and leap away to safety. Like take out Sing Sing that way. I didn't really think he'd keep committing to it all, but he did, and dies. And now Speed Gaming will look at Roshan.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that they're probably going to be able to secure it. Loda is he's pretty high in terms of life points as well as mana, but at the same time, it's nothing that you want to commit with Naga. Like literally, the only playstyle right now for this hero to be successful is just to avoid all the fights, all potential fights, and just split push, and just farm your jungle with your Riptide. It's just to become a monster. If you actually remember, Aoi 2000 played a very similar style of Naga back in the day, when she was really popular as a carry. Just split pushing and farming up your jungle with all your illusions. It was an incredible amount of farm that was unparalleled in terms of how much gold you can get. Right now, the split pushing is so strong, but wow, Alliance are actually going to go for this.
Sentry ward down, they use the arrow and they scout out the Speed Game. He's going for it. The Alpha Wolf gets pushed up towards the high ground, but that's not a bad thing. Would have been worse if it was Sing Sing, but then again, his life is so low and these illusions are not helping them out at all. Hand of God must be used. The Starfall, there's your Timber Chain up. Timbersaw will take out 2, and then the Nagarodi will hold Pylite and Bone 7 in position. They want to get Pylite die. The Fissure, there was still a gap out of here, but Admiral Bulldog just waits for him. S-Force behind him. The arrow is back off cooldown again. BKB has to be used by Eternal Envy. Turns around, doesn't pop off the flat cannon though, but 3 euros lost for Speed Gaming. And if Alliance are fast enough, I don't know if they are going to feel confident enough to do so. But Roshan's pretty low on life. They could use the Naga Illusions to tank, but looks like they're going to use him to scout instead. They want to finish the job the Speed Gaming started. Big fight, big fight for Alliance.
Yeah, and of course, Now Eternal Envy's TPing back, completely aware of the situation, but he should also know that they have no way of contesting these. Even though he had the BKB,
Oh, jump
he
in!
doesn't have it now in Bone 7.
Yeah, he gets Immortalizer being picked up right now. It gets picked up by the Naga Siren. He didn't stop him, but he got a good stun. S4 as well as Loda. Loda's in the back corner. Now you'll come out to fight. His Radiance Burn is still working on Bone 7. The heal from the mech will keep him alive a little bit longer. And the Aegis will have to be triggered off right now, and they're going to try and lock him in. They got Chen Nuke, they have to penitence him up as well, and the follow-up stun. Loda pops almost instantly after. So while the Dire side were unable to get the kill on Roshan or the Aegis Immortal, they still make Alliance pay for it. And they took Timberstore's spree.
Wow. The hero of that right there is definitely Bone 7, man. He just blinked right in the middle of that. Forced every single one of them to get Spike Carapace because all of them had AoE damage going for the Roshan, whether it was the Timbersaw with the Chakram or the alternate spells with just right clicks. Earthshaker Fisher to try and stop that progression, but unfortunately the Spike Carapace came back to bite him right in the butt. Same manner, same form. And Loda with that Radiance Burn, just shutting himself and working against them in that situation. And then followed up by a massive Impale. Although Loda did secure the Aegis, that was a huge kill coming out. And once again, I was just about to say, Eternal Envy doesn't have BKB. So unless Bone 7 actually gets a perfect initiation with an Impale, which is unlikely, and
Oh,
it's
S4.
Bone 7, he always finds a
Where's
way.
the Nova? Where's the Nova? He doesn't have it. Throws the ulti. But the TP was already finished by S4. He leaped himself into the tree line to then TP out. And the
Oh, they
blink
still
from
think he's there.
Yeah, okay. This is like one of those is Templar Assassin really there moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had
No,
to realize
the
it.
answer is no.
Yeah.
That's right. So they just realized it, and of course we'll proceed back to farming. But really, what can I say? Bone 7, the hero of that fight, just picking it up nicely, and it's unfortunate they couldn't secure that extra kill on S4. But really, Alliance just showing signs of life once again, and I'm very surprised at that one because I really thought the Roche fight wasn't going to go in their favor. But this is another downside of that Black King Bar item. I've been doing a lot of experimentation and just playing some other things here and there, and I've been playing around with BKB as a whole, but hold that thought. Load at the bottom lane, just getting a little bit of aggression put out of him. Yeah, he won't die, but he did take a little bit of damage. And that's the thing with this Naga Siren build. Actually, I should actually give credit to the person who made it. RTZ is the one that began doing this in recent times. And basically, one of the reasons why the Bottle Crow at the mid lane is so strong is because, you just Bottle Crow and you have infinite sustain throughout the entire game. Like, even right now, if he had the bottle, he would still be Bottle Crowing. And this is the exact same progression with its items. I understand that they recently had a scrib with Alliance, so I think Alliance decided to take this from this, take this into their notes. But the next item coming out will be Manta Style. After the Manta Style is when a little bit of diversion and diversity as a whole just kicks in. You can rush up the heart, but more often than not, you kind of want to just buff up your own stats. So it really just depends on the situation, but I think it could be either or a butterfly or a heart. And this game, I think he would opt for the heart, just because there's a lot of magic damage coming out of speed gaming, and he wants to stay alive as long as possible. But the next item guaranteed will be the Manta Style, and it's the exact same item progression that he's been doing for the last week or so.
Bone 7 might try and stop him from reaching it though. Vendetta's being used, and he's run up past the secret shop of the Alliance side. Runs up, he'll have to go east if he wants to find Loda straight away. And he will do so. He's just got a glimpse of him, but he's got no real support to follow up. Like, Spire Carapace is up there, so Loda trying to stun him up with that because of the Radiance Burn. But when Mirana uses ulti then, Loda walks away. I suppose it's a little bit of harassment to maybe make Loda think twice, but Coddle just drags him straight back down the bottom lane. So Loda got what he wanted from that top. Like, he farmed it, he pushed it, Arcade drags him down, and they just start the whole push again. Illusions to the front lines, Riptide it up, and that creep wave lasts no time whatsoever.
Yeah. So the mobility of this split pushing lineup with the Keeper of the Light as well as Naga Siren with Boots of Travel is starting to kick in. As we saw there, he was recalled to safety, just as you said, with, under the guise of the Priestess Ultimate. Now he can actually Boots of Travel anywhere he likes, but right now the lanes don't really seem safe because he doesn't have much vision of the top side of the map. So it's a good thing, of course. Now Speed Gaming has two heroes camping inside the jungle, and even if he TP'd, he probably would be able to survive with the Naga Siren Ultimate. But it just wouldn't be a wise decision to push yourself into a risky move like that. So he'll be pushing out the mid lane with Illusions, farming up his own jungle, and bottom lane's already being camped by Admiral Bulldog, so that's relatively safe in terms of a potential push coming out. And this is, once again, when Naga Siren is just at her best, at her prime in this game, is just in the mid game, transitioning to the late game stages when she becomes the most powerful force to be reckoned with on the map.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter how much like advantage you do have, because I was checking out the graphs. There's about 10,000 gold going the way of Speed Gaming, and the experience keeps going down too. Like, they've got 16,000 going the way of Speed Gaming here, but Naga doesn't care. It's almost like watching PL going up against Mega Creeps. You don't really understand how it's possible that he can push back all 3 waves all at the same time if the chances go your way, but you just have to accept it. And in this case, you want to accept a hero like a Naga Siren that's just able to push, and then you can't split push. It's like Speed Gaming don't have split push kind of lineup. Like, they could look at BTs over on Sing Sing, but Sing Sing's also one hero directed kind of damage until you use your razors. And if a Hara comes up on a Naga Siren, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to be anywhere near enough. And now you get like a little bit more defensive items now coming up. So S4 finally finishes his first major item. It's taken 28 minutes, almost 29 minutes to do this, but Lincoln Sphere now arrives for him, which means initiation from Nyx Assassin won't be anywhere near as powerful.
Yep. And of course, it must have been a tricky decision for him to be honest. At first, I'm pretty sure he wanted to offer the Manta style to assist with the split pushing potential and kind of survive with the Manta dodges on the spells and all that kind of thing. But Lincoln's is definitely the safest approach to this, and he's been dying a lot more than he wants to probably. So I don't really question his decision at all. But I just wanted to go back to your point about the Shadow Fiend and Gyrocopter as a whole. And it's very ironic that we say that these heroes are actually not good at split pushing, because to be completely honest, they're fantastic. But just as you said, man, in this game scenario specifically, against a Naga Siren who doesn't have to be in your lane to do 400 damage to you in an instant, it's just very tough, especially when you're going for BKB
They're bringing
style.
in help. They found Eternal Envy. Can start up with a Whirling Death right now. They use the Mirana Ultimate, Fissure, Ensnare. There's a jump down as well because EGM's finished up his Blink Dagger. And they're going to try and mop up the rest of Aui's creep wave, or at least the army, I should say. So Sharkham to slow down the Centaurs as well as the Trolls. So good pick-off. Also a big pick-off as well. That was a killing spree going the way of Mirana. So she got 469 gold from that kill. Because I was going to point out too that Envy was sitting at 6 for 1. He was looking very, very good as far as his farm goes. And Loda has just taken split pushing to a new level. He's now BTing up towards the top lane. And RK drags him back with his ultimate. Leaves a couple of illusions behind. Pushes Aoi out of the jungle. And then farms up the enemy jungle as well. That's just... That's just not nice.
You know, I hate to put it this way, but the more this game goes on, Toby, Speed Gaming are going to just slowly lose more grip. And
you used the Vendetta. He actually used the Mana Burn, I think it was, or he did something. Triggered the Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah,
the stun then works. Oh, it was 4-staff. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like looking through the abilities, I'm like, that doesn't work that way, and yeah, we go.
Yeah, very nicely done by Bone7 once again, demonstrating his awareness and how much he knows about the game. 3-0 and 8 is his score right now, so he's been involved in 11 out of 14 kills as the offlane Nyx Assassin. A fantastic feat, always putting out the performances necessary, but you know, as I was just saying, even those Priestesses kills, just as you mentioned earlier, like some of these kills, as the game progresses, so long as it's actually not the Naga Siren or the Timbersaw, I would say even, because Timbersaw can help pushing out lanes and be a teamfight force no matter what at this point. It's just going to be tough. Even if you kill off the Mirana a couple more times, that just means S4 is off the map and you're probably going to be a little bit safer going deeper into enemy territory. What that doesn't secure you is extra objectives as a guarantee, because Naga Siren now, with the level 3 sleep, and we saw how they initiated on Eternal Envy when he was overstepping his bounds at bottom lane, that could happen at any given time, so long as you're within radius, so long as you're within enemy territory. And this is the worst case scenario for Speed Gaming, because the best way to actually defeat this style of Naga play, that just split pushing all over the map and avoiding team fights as a whole completely, because she knows her hero is actually fragile as opposed to her illusions, which are fragile too, but when you split them up, it's just there's so many that they'll just overwhelm you in numbers and sustain. Then you have this problem, because you can't stop the Naga from farming her own jungle. You can't stop her from split pushing her own lanes, because your heroes can't actually match up with your BKB rushes. So what do you do then? What is the solution? You have to push. But once again, the timing for push has been delayed for so long because Speed Gaming seemed to be complacent, and they seemed like they had the idea that if they keep farming, they actually do win the late game, which is true. In a head-on engagement, I'm sure if the SF and the Gyrocopter don't take much damage before the BKBs pop, they can actually win the teamfight with all their spells. I have no doubts in that. But at the same time, the objective of the game is to crack the enemy throne or the enemy tree. And as far as styles go, split pushing has always been proven to be most effective, because it requires much less commitment in terms of heroes and much more damage done overall. So I would say Alliance right now, they have this game in the bag so long as they just play their cards right. Loda is still behind on farm in terms of net worth to some of the carries coming out of Speed Gaming. but he hasn't gotten picked off for quite some time now. 0-2 and 5, of course, he would like some kills to his name, but unfortunately, it's just not the case this game. But that's okay, because in terms of towers, they're actually even this game. After the hefty start, after the difficult start that they had, they were able to climb back the mounds and pick up their pace. So what can I say, man? I really hope that Speed Gaming feel the need to crank up the aggression soon, because if they don't go fast, they might be out fast.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, man. They're on the clock right now. If they don't breach the high ground, it's over for them. That's why I don't understand why Sing Sing went Daedalus instead of Deso.
Yeah,
this is why are we not pushing down towers right now? Why is this not happening? Like, you can see Aoi is preparing for it. Like, you get that Hood of Defiance up and Hood of Defiance. You get that Pipe of Insight up and running.
Right.
Then you're going to be fighting hard. Just getting pick-offs here and there won't be enough. Naga is too farmed up right now, and there's no way to control Naga at all. But I think Speed Gaming is very concerned right now. They could lose Tier 2 towers to Tier 3 towers if they wait any longer. Because Naga will split push you out. They can't win on the split push. They must go high ground into the base in the next 10 minutes, if not 5 minutes, if they want to win this. But you can't really just wait for Roshan, even though that's about to happen right now. I don't think they can wait that long, because with the Naga ulti, it's very difficult for Speed Gaming to 100% take this. And if you're trying to guess when you're popping off your BKB, or if you have to pop a BKB after Naga ulti's gone, the BKBs go down, Alliance will say, sweet, we'll just throw a Chakram in there, we'll throw a couple of arrows, maybe a Fissure, maybe a Luminant. Blinding Light then is another risk for Speed Gaming to get caught on top of a hillside as well. So they have to use 4-staffs to get people out of stuck positions, which is even like worse for a team fight.
Right.
Yeah. Speed Gaming is in like the worst position they could possibly be in, and we're saying that when there's 17,000 experience in front, as well as 10,000 gold in front, because it's just the way the heroes work. They're gonna kick that advantage back again.
Yeah, and of course the game has just become extremely fragile because of all these factors kicking in. Just as you mentioned, man, 15k, 10k lead. More often than not, you don't really see casters trying to point out that you're 15,000 ahead and 10,000 ahead on the gold, and you're in a tough spot. Like, you need to get that somehow to 20k and 15k or something like that. But the case here is that, yeah, Toby, it's just really, really tough, man. When you miss your timings against split push heroes like Animage, Naga, and that's why some of these heroes are just most feared in the scene, depending. They punish you so hard for not doing anything. That's the biggest problem, I think, these days. It's like just to put a personal experience out there, I play a lot of matchmaking recent times, and most of the time I actually just pick Storm Spirit or Shadow Fiend. I just love playing those heroes. I feel like they require a lot of skills, and the way they can snowball allows me to feel like I can dictate the game. But one of the reasons why I despise the Black King Bar pickup on the Shadow Fiend is honestly because I feel like SF as a hero, you pick up the Black King Bar, you become a one-trick pony. When you pick up an item like BKB, we saw it at the Roche fight earlier, and I'm not sure if we can all recall 20 minutes ago, or 15 minutes ago rather, but Admiral Bulldog just came in, bursted everybody down for 800 HP before the BKBs even popped, and that changed the entire course of the fight. All of a sudden, your 4k extra net worth gone because you couldn't click the item fast enough, or you just got stunned at an untimely manner and in an untimely position. And it's just so difficult, because it's impossible to gauge sometimes when the map is black and when you don't see it coming, or when there's a high pressure situation with all the tensions and all the factors just kicking in. But it just makes life difficult, because you got to ask yourself, when this SF is trying to defend the top push against the Naga Siren split push from like 2 to 3 illusions, what can this SF do about an illusion just running at him full course, full throttle, with more movement speed than him, more AoE damage, and more burst? The illusion's just going to be played as a suicide bomber. He's going to walk up to the SF, he's going to do 400 damage to the creeps and 400 damage to the SF, maybe a little less with reductions, and the SF won't be able to do anything about it. The only thing he can do is just push out the creep wave and hope the illusions die out in time. That's all you can do. There's just not enough sustain against this kind of lineup that Alliance has picked. Look at the amount of sustain in their lineup. They have the Timbersaw, a monster of sustain when it comes to the Bloodstone. You already have spells that are such low cooldowns, complete spam ability. You have the Keeper of the Light, who is a sustain monster. He doesn't stop giving out the mana for the team, and sometimes depending on the mech and depending on his farm, he can just give out so much more in terms of just survivability and using his ultimates to recall his allies and Blinding Light. And Naga Siren, he doesn't even have to be inside the team fight to do 400 damage to everybody every 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 10 minutes. So what can I say, man? Speed Gaming, I really do hope that they push fast.
Yeah. Well, if you're a Speed Gaming fan, you hope that. If you're an Alliance fan, you hope they'll wait forever. I want to say one thing, too, as we get ourselves now out of our pause. If you haven't done so yet, you can find out all the information about the tournament. I know there was a big gap in the tournament before we hit the grand finals. But if you head yourself over to d2cl.org, that is the official website of the, obviously, the Dota 2 Champions League. So if you want to check out over those details, definitely go ahead and do so. Of course, you can check out details as well. We'll have the Twitter reveal or Facebook reveal of Clairvoyance later on. But TobiOne Dota for myself on both Twitter as well as Facebook. I'll let you know what I'm doing and what I'm up to at all times, wherever we go, be it here on the D2CL stream or over on my stream back over on joindota.com. But either way, thanks for watching, and peoples. Hope you're enjoying the Dailymotion client as well. I know I have a copy of the stream over here on my side. It's actually 100%. I haven't had a single problem with it all night after we had ourselves a bit of a scare about like an hour before we started. But everything's been smooth. Hopefully it's the same for you. Let me know, of course, on Twitter. And I know the Dailymotion guys are watching out for it too. So, yeah. Hope you're enjoying your time. Hope you're enjoying the grand final. And hope you'll enjoy a full 5 series. I kind of hope it goes to full 5. I'm looking forward to this game already tonight. Because I started off tonight, I don't know about you, Clairvoyance, but I looked at this first part of the game, like, oh, things are going so bad. Things are not going to work for Alliance at all. We're going to have Alliance again, just struggling to keep up with everything. S4's Murano isn't really going to work at a 1 for 5. Things aren't looking that great. And then you kind of think about the effects of Anaga and how much space Speed Gaming gave to it. And you are going to see a heart coming out of Loader. He's now got the Reaver up and running. So we're going to go the life points, unkillable, split-pushing Naga Siren.
I could have hit Roshan.
This is just the true definition of the intricacies of this game. Sometimes just sitting on your advantage is not enough. Sometimes you have to push yourself to do more and take a couple risks here and there. And right now, Alliance is just punishing the opposition for not taking some of these potential risks. And of course, it's not so much that you get behind, but it's that the enemy kind of just catches up. And you don't want your opposition to catch up depending on the lineups that you're dealing with.
Cooldown's the only way Eternal Envy feels. Even popping like one hit of a flat cannon, thinks that's enough, but with a DD rune on S4, that tier 2 tower will not survive. And it's kind of crazy to think that Speed Gaming is the ones to lose their first tier 2 tower. And with the TP top lane, that's no shake-up. Blinks back?
Yeah.
I was waiting for the jump in. I was waiting for like the perfect jump in to a totem stomp just to bait out the BKB from Sing Sing. That's all I was looking for from EGM just then.
Yeah, it was quite possible. I think he could have done it too. But once again, heroes being off the map, it's so hard to gauge in this patch as a whole because vision is such a big deal and the burst potential coming out of both teams is very, very significant and nothing to be scoffed at. So I don't really blame him.
These Naga illusions are everywhere. Bone 7's coming out of Vendetta to stun to mana burn to get rid of him. There was illusions that came down the middle lane as well. I thought Loader was going to use his Riptide for a moment, but he ended up just holding it because that pushed the creep wave on the middle lane into the tier 2 tower. And then down the bottom lane, Eternal Envy was battling up against one of those illusions, but was losing the creep momentum just because of the Radiance burn that came out beforehand. And now with the full heart up on Naga Siren, like he's coming over. There's a Timbersaw illusion that's sitting inside the pit too, and they've smoked up. They're looking for a kill on middle lane.
And possibly at the top and the jungle. And Speed Gaming, they're so dispersed. Eternal Envy's at the bottom. There is a tower in proximity in terms of the top tier 2. But Alliance deciding to play it safe, saying, yeah, once again, we'll just push out the mid because we've been pushing top and we saw some of the heroes. So we have intel on where we have a general idea of where they are. And Naga now at the top of the CS board. Quite significantly, I would say. And
he's 3,000 in front of net worth as well.
Yeah. But just before this fight breaks out, or potential fight breaks out, just look at Sing Sing. At top, he was at 400
HP. Be quick,
HP,
because this happened right now. The double stun to EGM and RK, and Loader stops the fight. Eternal Envy has to pop the BKB and call down. He's going to try and find fight up against Loader, but with the Satanic, it means he can do so. Admiral Bulldog very low on life. Sing Sing, one last hit, can't do it. The denial out from the Bloodstone will save his life. They see EGM in the corner, and he actually put a Lincoln Sphere charge over on him, so he's able to escape. Maybe not fully, though. The stun from Bone 7 blinks up, takes the haste rune away from EGM. TP out will not work. Frostbite and the oldie from Pylai die to ensure the kill, and Alliance will now lose 2 heroes. And Speed Gaming, The movement from Eternal Envy was perfect. I don't think Alliance clicked on him to check out that Satanic.
Yeah, that was such a big deal. That Satanic changed the course of the entire fight. Just imagine if they actually secured the kill on Eternal Envy before that fight broke out. The Sing Sing would have just gotten disabled up immediately as soon as the BKB even was popped.
Yep.
Possibly. And if they didn't have anything for the BKB, they would have just simply waited it out, and then Naga would have just gone to town with the rest of the teammates. But that Satanic right there. See, that's the perfect application of Satanic, and Eternal Envy played that pretty well. I gotta give it to him. That was really, really nicely done. A well-executed bait.
The fact that he managed to bait it all out, because I was looking at Sing Sing during that, and his damage output was ridiculous. Like, Aoi had an Alpha Wolf in the middle of that fight as well. And you look at Sing Sing when he stands next to that Alpha Wolf, and his damage goes through the roof. I was really worried because there's no negative armor. There's no way just to push in and take out the towers that way. But that really just showed you right there that there is so much stability in this Speed Gaming lineup during these team fights that it doesn't really matter about the Naga's Radiance burn. She needs to start doing more physical DPS. The mana style's not enough, just surviving's not enough. Like, you look at the DPS coming out from Loda, and you're not even cracking a 200 mark. Where you look at it over on Sing Sing without the Alpha Wolf, and he's sitting at a fresh 300. And that's not even looking at his next big item. And the fact he's on 300 with a crit potential, and now with Satanic fully up and running as well. So he's got good life points, and he's got a way too that if they don't kill him off instantly, then he just pops BKB, he pops Satanic, and Alliance must fall back. There is just no other option they have. They have only Ensnare to control up to BKB heroes, and it will not be enough.
Oh, are they going to sleep? Is Loda going to commit to sleep here? Oh,
yeah, he will.
He's doing it. They realize that they're out of position. There's Sing Sing showing himself on the bot lane, and 2 heroes at mid.
Ah, the timing was wrong! They try and hit it perfectly. Now Bone 7 jumps in for the stun. Eternal Envy still held in position here for a moment. Now he can move away, put the rocket over on Loda, and maybe, well, with the movement in EGM, he's still got Echo Slam up his sleeve. He's not going to let it rip, though. Bone 7 looks for just a space-making stun. Aoi 2000's also coming. Eternal Envy. Oh, look at Alliance. They're bailing. It's rats from a sinking ship, but there's no rats drowning. Alliance are all back to base after taking out Eternal Envy. After taking out the Aegis Immortal.
Yeah. They got the BKB charge out of it, as well as forced Eternal Envy out of the Satanic, but just a really nice rotation coming out of Speed Gaming. Bone 7 as well as Aoi 2000 was completely prepared for it.
Oh, Echo Slam! He jumps in, the Illuminates as well. Aoi 2000, he gets the make off and the Hand of God. Eternal Envy, he pops the Satanic and he goes straight back up, especially using the cheese. Sing Sing triggers off his ultimate. One attack that's almost enough to kill off Arke, but not quite enough. Naga tries to make some space with the sleep, but the top tower's already gone down. Coddle had to fall back all the way to base. And now Alliance with their perfect pull-out, not so perfect.
Oh man, that was so close. If they actually... Second time, a really close call. Somebody passed the cheese to Eternal Envy, and wow.
Yeah, that one came from Sing Sing. He was holding the cheese during that fight. So we got it over to their gyrocopter, the last moment. Force-staffing, trying to keep Bone 7 away from the Riptide. Eternal Envy has taken all the arrow connects. This could be big right now. If they get him, they got him. The Chakram goes, and the Blink up as well. Able to go straight into the Whirling Death. There is a runaway from Pylai Die, but that won't work, giving Loda now a double kill. And Speed Gaming have 4 players on the sidelines. Bone 7 the only man to escape and live. Speed Gaming also unable to take another tower. I still don't know if this is worth it or not, because Speed Gaming are still bringing down outer towers, but they haven't breached the high ground. They lost 4 players to do it.
You know what? I would say that whole engagement, even if they lost the tower, it favors Alliance. For sure. Now what's going to happen is because their cores are down and it's actually not worth buying back for tier 2 towers, they're going to lose those tier 2 towers. And when that happens against a Naga Siren who can pop 5 illusions every minute, he is not only going to split push the heck out of your lanes all the way into your base, but he's going to also farm your jungle. And it's going to be a very, very reminiscent of that previous Drow Ranger before the nerfs, when she first got a new Precision Aura. Like, your creeps will never pass the river. It's just how it is. And you're never going to be able to push. It's going to be so difficult. And Alliance just banging away at the door already.
Jump in.
Seconds.
Looks for the triple stump. The Ensnare will go on Bone 7. Alliance, there's Chakram Force-staff to evade it too, but this mid-tier 3 tower is toast. Crystal Maiden has Blink Dagger right now to jump into an ultimate, but that's not really going to work when you're going to get mana burned, not mana burned down, Riptided up as well as Radiance burned down. Fissure also trying to keep Bone 7's Blink Dagger away. He could jump in for another stun. Sentry wards are down for the Radiant side, not for the Dire side. And there's no gem still on Aoi. Has to use the mech to counter off the damage done by Admiral Bulldog Chakram. But the damage has already been dealt here. The range racked is gone. The melee is not looking too healthy, but luckily it's still got regeneration if you're a Speed Gaming fan. But Alliance, they hit back and they take the first Rax area.
Yeah, I had a feeling they might have been able to secure the tier 3, but I had no idea they would actually be able to get the range access. And that much damage done to the melee, of course the melee will regen at 5 HP per second, so it'll probably get back to almost full by the time the next push occurs. But once again, the power of the Naga Siren, man, I hope we're getting a very good demonstration of how strong it is and how annoying it could be to deal with this hero in the late game. It's just teams as a whole. Like when these kind of things just get brought back or reintroduced into the metagame, not everybody has an idea of how to deal with it because it's just a foreign idea, or we haven't seen it before. And it's just unfortunate because Speed Gaming has actually Eternal Envy. Every single pub game he's played over the last 40 hours or so, he has played Naga Siren at the mid lane. He knows this is coming. So I just felt like they had all the appropriate pieces to take this down as soon as they had the opportunity after the couple kills at the mid, you know, taking the Roshan and being able to secure the early BKBs. I thought they had it, Toby, and all of a sudden, giving them a little bit too much space, and this is what happens to Alliance. 5k gold on the Naga Siren, he already has the Talisman of Evasion. He can actually buy up the full Butterfly right now, and still have money for buyback. As a matter of fact, I'm actually confused why he hasn't. He could even sell the jumps for it, and it wouldn't hurt him that much. This is the result, man. You don't take over the enemy jungle. You let this hero keep farming. Let this hero keep split pushing. Look at what's happening right now. Eternal Envy is being really bold by being right there right now. Because if the Naga Siren just walked straight for him, beeline straight for him from the jungle, he would have been able to sleep him up, allow the teammates to follow up, and he even has the stun through the BKB because hey, Naga Siren has Ensnare and it's just a fantastic spell. But look at all the other lanes. Naga Siren just had illusions there, pushing it in, and look at where they are. They have no room to breathe on the map. Alliance is warding up the enemy jungle, they're smoked up inside there, and they can look for kills aggressively now because why? They know if they get a target before the BKB, he is dead. The BKB, one-trick pony, man. You can't pop that in time, all of a sudden you'll feel like Lincoln was 10 times better of a decision. But unfortunately, this is the pace of the game as Dota goes, and it has its drawbacks and as well as its pluses, so...
I'm not quite sure about decision making now coming to the later portion of this game because I was looking at Envy sitting over 5k gold and I thought, you know, is this now the time when you got to look at a rapier? Do you just have to look at that pure output of damage and say you'll survive? But instead now he's going to go the butterfly. So that's it. That's his choice of item to try and survive up against this Alliance lineup. But it's not going to clean up Naga fast enough.
Yeah, like, see, the objective of this Naga Siren right now is not to kill you in your BKB. It's to control you up in the BKB and burst you down with the Timber Saw and all the other sources of magic damage coming out from the team of Alliance and split push you. And if you just keep focusing on this idea of trying to be an anchor where you can kind of just hold your position, you're not going to be able to win the battle of sustain against the Siren. It's not going to happen. You don't have the illusions, you don't have the Riptide, you don't have the Radiance Burn coming out. Your creeps just cannot fight up at this point. So look at what's going on with the Alliance right now. This is them doing what they're known for right now, right here.
This is pulling the entire Speed Gaming lineup down to the middle lane to fight up against Mirana Illusions, Naga Illusions. They got narrow. Follow-up Fisher. They can't go in that deep, though, on the tower, and they know it. They need a better initiation than that, but it looks like Speed Gaming have had enough. They're going to smoke up, they're going to run out through the mid, and they're going to see if they can catch one person out by themselves. And Naga at least has one upside for Speed Gaming. She's not walking around with a gem. So there's not a whole lot of illusions doing the scout, but if they can kill off Loda, like right now, we got the image up, and now the BKBs are gone. Envy never got his off. Sing Sing got his so he can be focus fired down. S4 is trying it. He's triggered up the Satanic Fidget will come through, but the BKB timing wears off. The Fidget contains him. Envy's triggered up his own one. Pilot is so low on life. Admiral Bulldog's here as well. One quick Nova. Can he get a Timber Chain up? No, the blink away. Admiral Bulldog will take a fall, so it becomes a 1-for-1. Aoi 2000 almost locked into a corner. 4-staffed up by Bone 7. Trying to get him away from these damn illusions. Spy Carapace will let it happen, but leap up by S4. Manaburn, Chan Nuke, Echo Slam. Everything they've got. They're trying to get this kill. Bone 7 will take a fall, however, while Envy arrowed up S4. He doesn't have leap away, but he's got another bottle charge up his sleeve. And he is away to safety. Pilot is keeping this mid-melee Rags alive, and then Loda comes in. Fortification has to be used as well to get rid of it, but Loda will take this mid-Rax after they take out 3 heroes from Speed Gaming, which means it should be a rotation straight towards top, and we're looking at a double Raxing and possibly GG here in game number 1, going the way of Alliance.
Dire's top tower
I can't emphasize enough, Toby. It's just they had this game in the bag and they're trying to struggle right now. Sing Sing has bought back and the fight will ensue.
Yeah, they give her a shot, but Sing Sing got arrowed up before the BKB can go, and now Eternal Envy. He triggered off his own BKB, and Snare will hold him there the entire time. BKB wears off, and Alliance, if Earthshaker wasn't so low, I'd say they'd turn around almost instantly. Because they're looking so good just to reinsert him when you get that BKB. It's down to 5 seconds duration now on Eternal Envy. And Sing Sing's sitting at 7 seconds. They just don't have the stability now of speed gaming during the fight. They can't dish out the damage. They're just being controlled.
There's just way too much damage coming out on the side of Alliance, and this is how to deal with the BKBs in the late game. Like, all you have to do is wait it out, because your heroes, as you go further into the late game, as they're getting stronger, you're getting stronger too.
Okay.
And
He's bringing in some help on top lane, and that's going to be Loda. Mana Leak to start it up with, Eternal Envy. He's got nothing to really fight this. The flag cannon's still on cooldown. He's triggered off his attack to try and fight, and they dropped the gem, and Loda stole the gem! It's just sitting on the ground. Are they baiting that one out to see, like, stand around and try and fight? Because there's no real slot.
Yeah, that was kind of silly. You know what? I actually think Loda as well as Aki would have had that kill for sure. But they're still not committing. They're actually scared. Even though they have 2 wards to cover all the movement coming out of the base through the jungle, and they saw one hero coming, so they know that Eternal Envy was isolated for sure. They're still not committing because they know that any kill on Loda would be so big that forcing him into some sort of a buyback or something like that, it's just not worth the risk to take.
He's got buyback, but he's also got Skadi.
Yeah, he just finished up the Scotty, and I'm actually so glad that he sold his drums finally. I was thinking it was going to be the AC, but Scotty's absolutely fine too. I mean, at this point, anything that gives stats is going to help the Naga Siren.
Well, she's maxed.
Yeah,
like,
full 6 slotted.
Yeah, I doubt even selling the mana style is worth it at this point.
Of course. She is perfect. She's perfect right now. The Empress is in her finest form, and with 2 Raxes down on the side of Speed Gaming, the third is going to be short-lived.
Yeah. This is where I was just looking to see now Alliance shift bottom lane and push. Like, a 5v5 fight for them. They don't need to do it, but at the same time, it's never really going to happen. The pushing power which is coming out from all the other lanes is just too great. And with the top lane being pushed in, the mid lane being pushed in, it's so open for Alliance just to come in and take Roshan. He's slowed down. It's the Skadi going to work on him right there. But this is now the 4th Roshan. So, second Cheese, second and 4th Aegis. And that's a lifeline to S4 too. He's walking around with 4,700. Arrow to scout up. The creep was trying to be sent down by Chen. They've got to jump in right now. No, look at Loda. This is the insurance right now. Aegis and Cheese is gone. Bone 7 ETM just drops him. Drops him so bad. Owie 2000 as well ensnared up. He's trying to live through these Naga illusions, but Hand of God, Pipe is up. Sing Sing's ult is no damage. This is GG right here. They can't survive. Pilot has thrown out his ultimate. He's a little bit further down. Lotus is keeping his distance, and now the heart can kick in for him. Forced up down. The ensnare flies with him. He's in the tree line. He can TP out. Looks like they're going to have another jump back in again. Eternal Envy gets 1 hero in revenge kill, and that's going to be on the Earthshaker. But he's been slowed down by the Rod of Owie. S4's going to jump in. There's your arrow in and turns on. Well, she can get 1, 2, and now over to Admiral Bulldog. On the run out this one. Phase boots off cooldown in a moment. Envy with the double boots build here. Loda. Okay, now they bring in their big gun. Envy's on the sideline for over 1.5 minutes. And this will be the GG push. Pilot force-staffing himself closer towards the enemy. He has no mana whatsoever to really fight with. And that's going to be his death here in the middle lane. And Loda does it in style. The game will hit the deck again.
What can I say? I think Pilot understood the difference in status. The Naga Siren is an Empress, and the Maiden, unfortunately, is nothing but the bottom of the food chain.
He wants Ake. Bloody Light pushing back. Mana burn for the win. One last revenge hit at least. But that is victory. That is victory to Alliance. It took him a while, though. But their strat was also, I'm not going to say perfect for that.
Yeah. Well, sitting at 586 creep kills and 6-2 and 10 ending score after what seemed to be a very tough start for him, 0-2 and 5. Loda has more than doubled up everything on his side and ended up securing all the objectives that this game requires you to for the victory, except the throne, because Speed Gaming decided to say GG, no throne for you guys. But what can I say, man? Just I definitely don't want to say flawless execution from Alliance. I think there were a lot of misplays coming out, unfortunately, and as much as I hate to put it that way, I really think that's the only straightforward way to put it out. As for, you know, as for Speed Gaming, I just think that they held on to their advantage a little bit too long. And unfortunately, this game doesn't have expansions for you to get too much further ahead, aside from the map itself. So when your entire map is getting farmed up by the Naga Siren and you're getting pushed on all 3 of your lanes, you have to force something. And for them to be put into this scenario where they couldn't force anything because this Naga Siren was split pushing every single wave better than the Prophet would have, because she has these illusions that maintain presence at these lanes with a little bit of micro. It just becomes such a tough game, such a tough hero to deal with. And I'm gonna tell you, Toby, I think Naga Siren will become a first ban very, very soon.
I wouldn't be surprised as well, man. For now, though, we'll see what's going to happen in game number 2 after this very short break. So stay tuned and we'll see you back here in just a couple of moments.
I'm just feeling celebration tonight. Celebrate, don't wait too late. No, we don't stop. You can't stop. We're gonna celebrate one more time. One more time. One more time. A celebration. You know we're gonna do it right tonight. Hey, just feeling. Music's got me feeling the need. Yeah. Come on. Alright, we're gonna celebrate one more time. Celebrate and dance so free. Music's got me feeling so free. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time. Music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time. Music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate. Celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, music's got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate.